I'm live, so we are streaming today on multiple platforms, and let's get into the drawing. You know, basically I will see if I'm recording in 4K. So basically if you're watching this on YouTube in horizontal or Twitch, I can cut the portion of it when I'm drawing into nice HD resolution of vertical short. But I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if my computer can handle streaming and recording at the same time, so let's try. So I'm gonna hit record on my OBS, start recording. I tap stop recording and nothing happens, and that's really upsetting because it doesn't matter if it's MacBook or Windows, it doesn't register my click straight away. Did you notice that as well if you're using mouse? You need to click second time or even third time and then it's working, and it's so annoying. Okay, so I'm recording and I'm streaming. If I start to lag, let me know. And also tell me how's the music in the background, because I haven't changed it since I set it up, but I think it might be not too loud, so maybe I should raise it a little bit. Do you think the music should be louder? Let me know. Okay, so so this is the last live stream. We drew Predator, and by we I mean, of course, I have this set up as a continuous zoom, manual zoom level, so it won't change if I go close to the camera, so it doesn't bounce. So let's just keep it like this. Hey Teo, how are you? How is everybody? Now this is very far from me, the piece of paper, so the camera isn't in my face, but it's still not perfect. Maybe in the future I'm gonna perfect it. I'm good, thank you. I just ate a terrible lunch, which was chips, French fries for those of you in US, and chicken burger, and it was terrible. Like, I'm heavy, head hurts, but otherwise I'm good. And I'm really focusing on finishing my comic book. I gave myself 4 months. That's why I'm not really crazy about making, this content. Because if you're not making shorts, TikToks or whatever, the views just naturally go down. And I do want to make them, but it's hard for me to juggle both of those things, and my main area of focus is completing my comic book finally. Error. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently keyframes, YouTube says, in vertical, are not poor. Stream status is poor. Currently keyframes are not being sent often enough, which is cause buffering. The current keyframe frequency is 8.3 seconds. Not that ingestion errors can cause blah 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 blah. So if you're watching this in vertical on YouTube, let me know if it's buffering, and it just might. Hey Azur, how are you? I can always just turn off the stream on YouTube. In vertical, horizontal I'm gonna keep. Okay, so Glenn Power from Running Man. I wanted to go to see this, but it's only on one time a day at 8 PM. That's too late. And I already was in the cinema this week. This week? Yes, on Predator Badlands. That's why the last stream was this. So like, I'm not giving them more money. Please, I cannot change. Can I change settings of my stream? That is YouTube right now. I have it set on 4000 kbps, but where's the keyframe interval? I have it set up on 0 seconds, and YouTube is saying to set up on what? The current keyframe is 8.3. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Well, I have it at 0, auto, so I should probably change it to. Okay, let me stop and see if that's gonna. It's gonna leave it and then rewatch it and see. Error. Okay, okay, maybe that's gonna change in a second. I'm looking at YouTube, your YouTube vertical. Okay, let's just leave it there. Okay. I don't know about this multi-stream. Sometimes somebody is watching on YouTube. On Twitch there's sometimes somebody, but mostly no one. Majority of people is on TikTok, so maybe I should just stick with YouTube horizontal and TikTok vertical. I don't know. Okay, so the purpose of this stream is to create the full illustration from start to finish during the live stream, and then I can use the recording that I'm recording separately to my hard drive to create a, you know, a 10 seconds or so short. And like, it would be great if I was drawing your requests maybe once a week or something, when I can draw in Wiggly Paint digitally or physically and draw like 3, 4, 5 things in an hour or so. And this way I can also record that and repurpose that for shorts. This way all the birds are killed with one stone. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise I have to commit 1.5 to 2 hours every day to actually draw one short. And that's really time consuming when you want to focus on your comic book, you know? And coming up with ideas and being burnt out by, you know, will this perform well or it won't, because I don't have any power over it. Sometimes things perform, most of the time they don't. If you stop posting, they don't perform. But what's the point in posting if it gets you nowhere? And you're gonna pay the bills somehow. Okay, Running Man. Glenn. Now it will be difficult to capture because I'm drawing in cartoon style. It would be hard to capture the likeness in cartoon. I could do it, but it takes forever. So we will see how this goes today. And you know, overall this is like an exercise as well. Exercise. Okay, this is an exercise in drawing life, I suppose. Okay, so we have the base pose. So if anybody is joining now, we can write like Glenn Powell, right? And then Running Man. Just gonna write it here. So now the face obviously will have to be a little bit smaller. So for the costume, I want to use the one from the trailers, which is him in a hoodie or him not in a hoodie. So we're gonna have the hoodie off. So now there's the hoodie. I drew many hoodies before, so that's kind of another vest. In the movies they would often have many layers of clothing, but when you're drawing you want to keep things simple. You know, when doing a character design, unless it's for games, of course. Yeah, I guess this will do. Okay, so that's the base of this. And now we're gonna draw the face, then ink it and then color it. I know, exciting. I still don't have the cadence scheduled, figured out. I would like to do streams every 3 days a week, you know, around that 1-2 p.m. of my time. But it's, you know, it's hard for me to figure it out. Now there's 3 people watching, but where? Channels. There's 1 person on YouTube, might be from TikTok, and there's 2 people from Twitch. Hello, hi. Say hi in the chat so I know you're real. And now monitoring, I'm using Restream, which is like a platform to push my horizontal stream to YouTube and Twitch, and I can see the chat here, which is of course nobody at the moment. And then separately in TikTok app on Windows, I can see TikTok chat, which is 0 people at the moment. Art with Jimmy, I'm always real. Awesome, thank you for this. Okay, so Glenn. Glenn Powell. Okay, Now I was watching that chat on Disney sitcom with him, Chat Powers or something, which is cool. It's alright. So basically, the features of of Glenn Powell are that he has very small, very neatly curved chin, eyes, nose. You know, it's not big in the face. It's not all around the face. So to kind of capture that, I suppose we would need to have bigger face and smaller features. And you know, I wasn't testing this, and when you're not prepared, you don't really know what you're doing. Like I keep always repeating, what's his name? Bob Ross painted a painting before the show was recorded, then painted second copy during the show. It wasn't from memory, he already painted one copy. And then apparently he painted third copy after show was finished. I don't know, probably not for sale because he never sold his artworks for some reason. Now I have my style of drawing, so maybe I'm just gonna use this, which is basically something like that. But that won't look like Glenn Powell either. And the whole idea here is to capture Glenn, right? Oh, Chicken, hi. We are drawing the Running Man. Okay, so the eyes are really more narrow. The nose is really more like this. I just don't know how to capture his jowl. It's really like this, like Quagmire. But that's still not it. How's your Friday, Chicken? Any homework? My homework is doing those live streams. Yeah, you see, so basically this element, this part, when you're fixing something, that's why like drawing one face can take you a day, if not more, because you're just trying to capture it well. Ideally, I would just sketch a couple of thumbnails and then find one that it's working, one approach that it's working. But the whole idea with these streams is to go the other way around, so kind of I figured out during. So Chicken, you cannot see the name of the stream, can you? Because that's in the name. So I'm drawing Glenn Powell from The Running Man, the new movie that it's out in the cinemas. Yes. Directed by Edgar Wright. But I'm having a hard time to capture Glenn Powell face in my cartoon style. So if it's not working, try something else. That's what I always say. So we can go higher, right? And I think we're going in the right direction now. And ideally I would have, because I'm using a phone camera, Samsung Note 20, I would have some sort of a zoom so you can see the features better. I don't think I can zoom on this. I mean, I can zoom, right? But it's using the main camera, which doesn't have zoom, so this is terrible quality. I need to figure it out, can I use my telescope 0.5 telescopic zoom on that, so that way I can keep the camera far away from me, but at the same time you can see the details better. Okay, so once again, eyes are quite narrow. Well, these aren't narrow, but they will do. Nose is quite straight, which is kind of a not cartoon nose, but that's okay. And his face expression, and he has a little bit of a stubble, and all those posters is kind of like this, right? Like his jowl is really like triangular, but when you're drawing cartoon, or if you're drawing caricature, which I never kind of did on purpose, because I'm not good at it. You can use this one shape of the face in another place of the face. So like you don't need to be one-on-one. If somebody has a big nose, you can make something else bigger. I am not making much sense, but I figured out this approach. So in illustration, if somebody has like a huge jowl, Jowl, it might not work in my illustration, but I can use that kind of approach in different face feature. How 20 minutes we're streaming. It's kind of a more. The whole idea here is just to make it funny, you know? And like it's good to just stick to original reference, but when drawing cartoons you just need to go with your guts and don't go one-on-one. And then will start to work. I think we have a storm today in Ireland because the wind is just mental. Okay, I think I'm just gonna leave it at this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave at this. It's not perfect, but you know, I would be spending half an hour longer on this face, and what's the benefit? The illustration wouldn't be finished. Right, so let's ink it, let's color it. Maybe I'll try to color it first, which kind of is something that people always do in social media when they're creating content. But honestly, I don't think it's a cool idea when you're actually drawing. This is kind of the main white skin color I have. It's kind of a yellowish. So I have beige. And I made this mistake again. I put my sweater, which is very warm when you start to stream. I did it the last time because I don't learn, apparently. Thinking about moving camera over there, which is kind of a more natural. I still don't know how to create a good angle when I'm actually drawing, so you look at my forehead instead of my face, if you even look at that, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't at all. Okay, let's just ink it, I suppose. And you know, like everybody is drawing all those amazing pieces, and like it upsets me because, like, let's get real. So I'm drawing so here. And my inking doesn't follow the pencil sketch 1-to-1. Chicken, my dog's barking so much. The wind is crazy where I am as well. Yeah, it might be global, Finn. What's your dog's name? Chicken. And you know, when there's too much wind, people go actually crazy. It's proven scientifically. That's why be afraid of the wind. Be very afraid. Eric, that's a cool name. Is it from True Blood, Eric? No, I'm just joking. I don't even remember if there was a character named Eric. Maybe the actor is named Eric. Maybe not. So, you know, once again, I really don't know what's the purpose of those streams. Like, I want to make content, I want to make illustrations, so I want to kill many birds with one stone. but I don't know if it's really working. And you know, to actually see if something is working, you're gonna invest months, sometimes even years, and not everyone is privileged with, you know, so much time to try new things, right? We're mostly limited by time, because if something doesn't bring money and doesn't pay the bills, we need to find something that it does. But the best thing in life is working for yourself and making money, or working for a company and making stuff you love. But I will talk about that more maybe in the future. That's a big, yeah. And one more. Okay, so that's the fist, that's the fingernail. Not perfect, but it will do. I drew many fists before and many running poses. That's why this I can kind of do like this. It's alright, chicken. It's okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow or day after. I think I'm gonna focus on the comic, unless I have no energy and I have time, then I will stream. But normally I would just love to stream 3 times a week during work days. Okay, so really not happy with this face. It just looks poor, but I wasn't either happy. I wasn't happy with Predator that I drew last time, but then, you know, you sleep, you look at it the next day, and it actually looks not as bad. So don't want to really complain. Hi Teardrop, thanks so much for recommending the stream. Appreciate it. Underneath is something green. I have plenty of different greens, but that's actually brown. It's a green that it's like kind of like this. The last time there wasn't enough light here. Today I think there's not enough light either. And I really would like to zoom in more on this, but then the camera's gonna be in my face. So bear with me, it's gonna take me quite some time, but I will have this setup eventually figured out. I promise. If anybody is watching on YouTube in vertical, let me know if I'm lagging, because YouTube was giving me some. And his hair could be the same color as well. Now I don't know, and the cargo pants are kind of a yellowish. Sorry if I'm not saying much, I'm watching a movie as well as this live. Which movie, if you can actually say. And you know, don't worry, like, same with me, like when I'm drawing I cannot also, you know, be checking chat all the time. Yeah, it's definitely a storm. I just need to find out what's the name, because they always give it as some stupid name, female name, those storms that we have here in Ireland. Okay, so this is it, right? Done in half an hour. Yay, hey, hey, hooray. But I really wish I spent more time on the face, because the face looks just ugly, and that's not how I roll. So I will need to figure out a way if I can fix the face. Don't be upset, we're all different. There's a huge solar storm bashing the planet right now. Oh, thanks, Art with Jimmy. So I guess every country has different name for that storm. Now, how can I fix this face? Which is, you know, challenge because it's already drawn. Glenn Powell. Glenn. And also, you know, when you're trying to draw somebody and capture the likeness, even realistic or not, what helps is looking at the thumbnail, looking far away on the face, so you can see how all the features together compose and the scale and the anatomy of them. The more you zoom in, the worse it is to capture stuff. Oh, Chicken, you're watching It 2017 version. I just watched it a couple of months ago because I was in the cinema watching the first one and I loved the first one. Second one, it's like okay, but both are pretty good. So yeah, good choice. And are you watching the Derry TV show based on Stephen King and It as well? I haven't, but I forgot, but I need to check it out by myself because reviews are, oh, it's so-so. But you know, don't care about reviews, watch it for yourself and then decide. Yes. So how to fix that face? We can have a nice kind of I can draw the face, zoom on the face here as well, maybe. Or maybe not. But I definitely should fix his face and figure out a better color so this isn't yellow the next time I'm drawing. Because if you would see that thumbnail on YouTube, it's like probably gonna skip that. Yeah, I was watching the series as well not long ago. I'm very into it at the moment. Well, cool. I'm very much into Stephen King. When I was growing up, I was reading his books. When I was learning English, I was reading his books. So, and I love the man. He's 80 or 80 something right now. Okay, how to fix this face? Like I should give more thought into it, you know, but I wanna just play it along as we go. Play it by ear, as they say. But if it only takes half an hour to draw it, the next time maybe I will spend 10-15 minutes of actually pre-planning with you the whatever we're gonna be drawing, whatever else is coming out. Maybe I'm gonna, you know, because you need to draw what's trending, really, you know. Nobody cares about your stuff unless you kind of tap into fandom or something like I did on TikTok with inanimate objects. That's why I'm creating the comic book internal objects soon. But other than that, if I want to break from that, if I want to pivot, it's very difficult. So I think the only way and the easiest way to fix his face would be to hide his face. And let's see if we can do this with white. You know, the eyes are quite okay, but the eyebrows are... Now, we are approaching a very strange territory. And if I remember the Twilight Zone intro, I would say it right now, because Sebastian found himself not in his room drawing during live stream, but in the Twilight Zone. Streaming in the Twilight Zone. Tateo, I think the face looks good. Oh, thank you. Chicken also thinks the same. Hi, Caliber. How are you? It looks good, but it doesn't look as good as my kind of a standard that I have. And it doesn't look anything like Glenn Powell either, which is a pity. So now we need to wait for this to dry. And while waiting, we can see... Can I find a better way to draw this face? Where's my black? Art with Jimmy, how far are you along with the comic? So I'm pretty far after 15 years. Last 5 years were really beneficial. I put a lot of time into it. Since May I'm unemployed. Well, since June. So I'm putting... whenever I have the energy to draw it, to finish it. So I'm kind of like 60% or 70% done, not counting color. It's 46 pages, 48 with title page, and I'm finishing the last final 10 pages. The final scene of 6 pages, I'm drawing it right now, and then I have a dinner scene in the middle, which is like 4 pages or 5. Once that's done, in general, the comic will be mostly done, but I only have the first 10 pages colored, and I don't like coloring, and that's time consuming, but I don't care. once it's inked, everything else will go smoothly. So I'm pretty advanced in a comic book, and I'm 100% sure I'm gonna finish next year finally, even though I've been saying that every year. And thanks for asking. I will share more and more with the comic. I'm actually was thinking, when I'm gonna be coloring, maybe I'm just gonna stream that without talking, so you can have a look at my coloring and, you know, add some illustrations. I didn't want to share too much of the comic, but if nobody knows about the comic and me, then it's like, you know, if am I benefiting keeping it, you know, plot details underneath wraps and the illustrations, not sharing all of them? So I think I should just go out more out there with the sharing the progress of the comic, even before it's completed. How many panels? It's like Asterix and Tintin. So you have 4 rows, and each of them would have like 2 to 3 illustrations. So I don't have it handy to show it to you because I'm drawing on huge pieces of paper, right? But page of my comic is 4 rows, and mostly there's 3 panels on one, sometimes 2, sometimes 4. Very seldom 4 because that's too much unless, you know, I have to do it. Mostly it's 3 panels in each row, so it's 12 panels most of the time. And one half of the page I am drawing, because I'm crazy, right? On A3 sheet of paper, which is twice of the printing paper size, and that's too much. So my next comic book, Herzeba, me growing up, kind of a slice of life, that's gonna be more Scott Pilgrim, so it's gonna be drawn in a little bit smaller size than A3, but a little bit bigger than A4. And kind of like Scott Pilgrim, easier and faster to actually create. It's hard going. It took me ages to get my speed up. I can finish at 24 pages in about a month. Oh man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Would love to see some of your stuff. Have you got Instagram or something? You can also share it on my Discord. But I don't look there enough. But I do. I check for new messages. Links in bio. When I was younger, I was never fast, you know, at drawing. I drew my first comic in a couple of months in black and white because I wasn't overthinking everything. But the more you know, the better you are, the more questions you have, and the more you overthink every single thing. I don't do social media anymore. Well, kudos to you. I would love not to do social media anymore either. We all know why, right? Because it's soulless. Because of the algorithm. Yeah. And today I was drawing a character opening a can, tin can, and to get the right angle, you know, with the hands and with the can, I thought I'm gonna use my can opener, but in illustration it didn't work that much, so I kind of found a better one. But that took me like all morning. And then you look at your stuff and you're like, oh, how, you know, I'm so slow. But like every little bit gets you towards your target. So I shouldn't be bashing myself. But I can share stuff via Whisper later. Lol. What's Whisper? Chicken, I used to draw comics when I was little, but stopped because no ideas. Ideas are difficult, you know, ideas are more important than skills, I would say. It all, you know, it's all about the balance, but skills is the least of your worries. Good ideas are the most important. I have ideas, but I use my life and then twist it and make entertainment out of it for your pleasure. But to create something completely new would be different, also hard for me. The more time you spend on a scene or a plot problem, you'll eventually figure it out because it becomes alive, but ideas are hard. Right, art with Jimmy, right. Okay, so let's see if this face is... I don't know what to do with this face anymore. So, slimmer eyebrows. Okay. Less rounded face features. Okay, and now for the face, I mean for the mouth. I don't know, maybe let's just do like this. In theory, Drawing Life was supposed to create a lot of cool illustrations, but in practice it's a lot of mediocre illustrations. So I don't know. Okay, let's add some color in the background. Okay, so we are 36 minutes, it's 3 p.m. my time, so we're gonna finish this and that's gonna be the end of this stream. That's gonna be available on YouTube. I'm gonna make a, if the recording will be successfully completed, I'm gonna make a, you know what I'm gonna make, a short out of this. But again, it's like, you know, it's horizontal rather than vertical, so it's like, it's not easy to figure out a system that works. That's all I'm saying. And I should be talking more because it's live stream, so if somebody is watching this in as a background, I can tell you who else I want to draw. So definitely Survivor, Jeff Probst and the other host from Australian, in a high-fiving each other or fist bump or whatever. But also to capitalize on new movies coming out. Wicked, it's gonna probably be huge. I actually, surprisingly, I enjoyed that. I like, you know, musicals. I love it. I love Sweeney Todd, my favorite musical, and Steven Sondheim company. But yeah, I was surprised that I liked Wicked a lot. It was very well edited. I watched like 2-hour interview podcast with the editor. It was his choice to split the screen when they are, you know, having some music numbers on the screen. So I haven't seen it in the cinema, but the second part I probably will. And I'll be the only 42-year-old middle-aged man there. I really don't want to use too many colors on this. Like the last time I used too many colors and it looked not that great. Let's add some contrast, so one side of the face and like this, because contrast is very important. That's what makes movies look nice, beautiful. Let's add a vein. And maybe some highlight, but for highlights maybe again use those prism markers. Okay, I'm gonna do just autofocus, which is auto. Can I just switch normal to tap? Okay, so now if I show it to you closer, tap. Okay, tap to focus. That's what we are dealing with. And tap to focus. Okay, so can I just change the autofocus to normal tap, continuous? So continuous should do the, yeah, okay, so this does it by itself. But if I kind of have my hand, that's can, okay, so Prismacolor. And let's try some white highlights maybe, or maybe yellow. I don't know. Any idea? Red? Bright red, dark red? Bright red here. So, oh, and a stubble. I almost forgot about the stubble. So this is something I didn't want to overdo. But I'm doing this again. Adding complexity to the coloring for no reason other than vanity. Okay. All right. Stubble. Should we use pencil for stubble or ink? Let's try with ink and see. So we have 2 people on Twitch, and you're Art with Jimmy, you are on Twitch, so maybe it actually makes sense to keep, you know, streaming on Twitch, since at least, you know, you're watching. I'm sorry, but it kind of looks like blood. I mean, it's a Running Man, so you know, maybe okay. But you're right. It's too much. I should maybe make it purple. I was just watching today somebody's short, and they had some really high contrast, and it also looked like the person was a victim of burning tragedy. So you're definitely right that red is too much. That's what happens when you want to make it better. And his face is too bright as well, so can I make his face? I mean, it shouldn't be yellow, right? So if his face wasn't yellow, this red wouldn't look like red that much. You know. Oh man, now it's really dark. Now it's too dark. I don't know, this streaming and drawing experiment. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll get better drawing this live. And you see just one simple illustration. Well, simple. Let's see how much time it takes. And then you end up just doing like a 16 seconds short from it. Hello, fan. Art with Jimmy. I'm listening. I am working on 3 commissions. Wow. Kudos to you. I used to work on some commissions and I never liked it. And I think a lot of illustrators, I don't know about you, Jimmy, doesn't like doing those. Because, you know, the clients often have unrealistic expectations or want to pay peanuts. But it's great that you can get commissions in this age that we live in when there's AI, right? So it's great that some people are actually investing money in real art. And I don't think that's going anywhere. I think it's actually going to be better for artists that are not just writing prompts, because they're going to be valued more. Okay, stubble with pigment liner. So I have 0.1 and then the slimmest is 0.05, which is for the finest details. Here it is, my 0.5, so have a look. Do I need to tap? No, because I don't have my... Oh, maybe there you go, 0.05 and 0.1, so this is the ones. This is a trick I noticed in somebody else's video or stream. They basically get their hand when there's something small so the camera can focus on the item, because without it the camera wouldn't. I don't mind, I'm not bad at it, so says Jimmy about commissions. Alright, or maybe about something else. So a little bit of stubble. Now you won't be able to probably see it much because, you know, of my setup the camera is so far away. Can you see the stubble? Glenn Powell stubble. Are your stubble going all over the face? Is it mustache as well? It's hard to see from those promo photos. But he has those chiseled, those two lines as well. No, not chiseled. Kind of like something like this. And he should be more determined in the eyes, but I specifically made his eyes look silly. Yeah. So, you know, I'm really looking forward for you to seeing my comic book, which I will probably publish on Amazon and do like a promo for PDF when it comes out, so you can... It won't cost you arm and leg, as they say, because this is my high quality work, the most hours and time, like huge pieces on half of the page as well, that I made a couple of huge action scenes, set pieces, oh that's how they call them, yeah. Because this doesn't give you good, but it might give you some idea of my skills. Alright, so let's have a look at it now. I don't know how I'm going to make that 10-second you know, short out of this. I got better at it, so you know, I will make it. But the character is horizontal, not vertical, so not sure. And you know, when people are drawing like this, they would mostly have like a candle on the top, or something on the top and bottom to fill up the horizontal canvas aspect ratio of recording when the illustration is like in horizontal aspect ratio. And I even once purchased a candle and I kind of lit it up here, but it was like, it smells and it's not me. So you're trying to copy others, and at the end of the day it's a journey to finding your own style and what works for you. Because, you know, if there's a light flicking or something, or a nature, you know, like a plant or whatever, it's gonna be more pleasing to the eye, right? And the artists create all these cool vibes when they are drawing. And for me it's silly, and all I would love to do is just parody that. But to parody stuff, it also takes time. And I'm not a teenager anymore, so, and I'm not as much as that excited about doing that stuff either. All right, so we are at 52 minutes, and I think I'm just not gonna be doing anything else with this. This is the Running Man from Glenn Powell. This video, of course, and this stream is not sponsored because I am not monetized. Thanks to very kind people on TikTok, I earned 16 cents, and I appreciate every cent out of those 16 cents. But it won't pay the mortgage. So we will see how it goes. And I don't wanna... Okay, I'm gonna add shadow, okay? Because you asked. I'm gonna add one shadow on one side to give it more depth. But that, honestly, that's gonna be the last thing. I'm grateful. I don't want to be ungrateful. I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity to stream, to talk to you, and all of that. So it's awesome. I was never a grateful person, so I'm learning that. So we have the purple. There you go. I cut my fingernails yesterday, so good. Art with Jimmy says, things are a bit slower than last year though, in regards to commission. Well, if you need advice, let me know. Oh, thank you. Thanks. I think I'm good, but thanks. You know, I'm not one of those people who are... how to say that? Kind of, I'm used to doing things by myself. But it's nice to have the... somebody's help, you know. And a little bit overlap inside this as well, why not? Should we add speed lines as well? So normally I have published for hundreds of clients on Amazon. Hundreds. Cool. I publish for 2 clients. Maybe some of this work is on Amazon as well, but that was ages ago, 10, 15 years. Because again, the pay was peanuts, and you know, it's great when you're starting, but at some point it's like, if it's not really an opportunity anymore, and they are the only ones who are benefiting. But you know, we all have our different journeys. Life isn't easy, but as long as we are alive, we can push. It is amazing to be able to, you know, draw and make money out of it as well. Yeah, I think life is very special because it's a miracle, and we all have the opportunity to do stuff that we like doing, to do your own thing. Look at Martin Scorsese. Every one of his movies is based on his childhood when he was growing up surrounded by those mobsters. And he made the whole career making the same movies over and over again. So like, you can really do everything you want as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you push yourself. It's really hard to believe that you can do that because of all the people being skeptic and living asleep in this reality. But there's something beyond what meets our eyes. And that's the spiel. Thanks so much, Fan. Fan says awesome drawing. Happy too. We are not doing requests today. And what's 15XO? Is that a character or just numbers? So in the last 52 minutes, and 10 of them were spent on me trying to fix horizontal YouTube stream, we drew this. Now I'm okay with this. You know, it is okay. Maybe we'll draw more of this. You know, I will figure it out how to create my cartoon version of Glenn Powell face eventually. So I might be doing more of him, and over time we can, you know, compare how that evolves, because it takes time. It's really almost impossible to nail it the first time. It's all about progress, improving along the way, and it's really important to remember that and not get upset if something doesn't work out, because it's a learning process, which I need to remind myself all the time as well. All right, so I think, thanks Totato for keeping my back. Totato, did I ever ask you if you would like to be a moderator? Because I can make you a moderator. Yeah, because you're not a moderator, and you're the person I can trust for sure. This is the proof. And it's okay if you don't want to be moderator. You know, just moderating is like, you know, if somebody's spamming, or just like what you did right there, I suppose. But happy to, we will make a stream. I will try to do once a week a stream with drawing your requests. So maybe that's gonna happen this weekend, if not sometime next week. Unfortunately, I don't have a good schedule yet. I have no schedule, you know, but I hope to get better at this. Till I still have time to stream, I would like to try to make something out of it, you know. It's hard to push yourself to do all those things. But hey, normally I would just be, you know, scrolling on TikTok or whatever. Well, I wouldn't be doing that. I would be just checking my analytics. And I wouldn't have this done. So thanks to you and this stream, I have this done. So I think that's pretty cool. And then I'm gonna make a short sometime later with all those things done in a stream. So we have the Predator and we have the Running Man. That's the 2 pieces we made. And I don't know if I should do Last Cartoon Hero signature on those, or if I should do my real name signature on these. No, sure, not sure. So Totato, you don't want to be a moderator? Yes, no? Before we end. And again, it's fine if you don't want to. What did I wanted to say? So I'm... Oh, I don't want to, but thank you. No worries. What did I wanted to say was... Yeah, so basically, when I'm coloring, and I'm gonna be coloring more and more of my debut comic book, I think I'm gonna stream some of it, and it's just gonna be, you know, apparently people watch it. I don't know if they're gonna watch this. Just me drawing, but not actually talking. Well, maybe I will look at chat from time to time, but in general, just, you know, just drawing, not talking. And I think I'm gonna do it from my MacBook, which is where I draw and color. I only use this Windows laptop that I purchased. This Windows laptop there that I purchased. It's G14 from Germany. That's why it doesn't say control, it says STRG. And it's quite confusing when you're using this. I purchased it to play for like 700 euros. To play computer games, but I don't play computer games really. But so I use it for streaming because I can use TikTok Live Studio on this. Hi, happy to welcome back. But it's not good for. But I'm used to, you know, using Photoshop in MacBook. But I cannot stream to TikTok on MacBook unless I will be streaming. Unless Stream Elements unlocks, because it banned me for 5 days. It says that the TikTok access was revoked. So I'm on 2 days left to get the TikTok back on MacBook. But I don't know if they're gonna kick me out again, right? But I think I'm just gonna stream when TikTok is back on Stream Elements, and I can stream that way on MacBook. In horizontal, to keep it simple, you know, when I'm coloring. So Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok in horizontal when I'm actually coloring. Because I'm gonna be coloring anyway. I don't know if people watch those horizontal streams. They probably do, because I notice sometimes they are like, you know, and you need to tap on them to rotate your phone. And people don't like rotating their phones if they are used to looking at vertical stuff. Alright folks, without a further ado, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for chat, Art with Jimmy. All the best with commissions, you're gonna nail it. Great to see you, Totato. Fan, happy too. Caliber, if you're still here. If Teardrop, and that's about that, right? Yeah. Have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you, I will see you next week. All the best. And watch out for the wind, because it's a storm out there. Okay, stop streaming. Now what's the easiest way to stop streaming? I really don't know still. I can end stream here. And then say bye.